The France has a very historical relationship with Afghanistan, and in terms of basically supporting Afghanistan way before the wars even began in Afghanistan, and having many schools, French schools across Afghanistan, especially in Kabul. And my father actually attended in one of these schools, and he could speak French, my father. So that was one of the reasons that he was very much actually a very popular figure in France, because he was speaking French. But in terms of support, there was nothing concrete, and there was no such thing as talking in this regard, or any promises for the support. Of course, they're supporting the human right and woman right, and one of the few countries in Europe which is very much advocating for such thing for Afghanistan, and which we appreciated. But there was not a promise in that regard to be discouraged by US. But unfortunately, the policies our US and current administrations are having, it is disappointing regarding Afghanistan.
Let's talk about your strategy and the strategy of the resistance. Where do you even start with fighting these guys?
Well, my first strategy was an emotional uprising in the face of a huge tragedy, which was my own sacrifice. On 15th of August, Shawn, when I was in Kabul, I gave it a long thought, because before that we tried everything with the regional countries, with the Western countries, with Afghanistan government to prevent the catastrophe. I wasn't successful. So when I knew all is lost, I knew the only thing that can be saving us, it is a national uprising by all people of Afghanistan against a very small group called Taliban. To do it, I needed to empower people in a way. The only thing was a thirst for revenge. And that could happen only if they could see a very, so to say, painful tragedy. And so my first strategy was to go to Panjshir Valley, defend till the very last minute, and have a very, how to say, a crazy end, to give your life, die in the most painful way, being bombed, being destroyed and shattered. Maybe within that tragedy and that sacrifice, it would give my people a reason to rise. And because I knew Afghan people are very much wanting it, but they needed hope. Because they felt lonely, they were hopeless, they felt abandoned, and they have fought against the Taliban for many years. And also there has been war going on in Afghanistan for many decades. So they were very much tired, and they were lonely and hopeless. So I needed to give them something. Unfortunately, or fortunately, many things happened that luckily I didn't die. And I went outside Afghanistan to find support for my brothers and sisters who were fighting against them. I never had the intention to leave my country. I just went out to find something, because you are a man of war, you are a military man yourself. For fighting, you need resources. For your guns to fire, you need bullets, and we ran out of them. And I was surrounded in a valley with no support from anywhere. So I had to go and find something from somewhere. But as soon as I left, unfortunately, the front line collapsed. The pressure was immense. Once it happened, we gathered all the military committee, and we said, okay, now that the pressure is too much, what should we do? And we exchanged our strategy, and we changed it. And we knew that we are in a long-term sort of a strategy. Now we have to build everything from zero. That this is going to take longer than we expected and much harder work. There were many people like me that who were willing to give their life, not to witness such tragedy and not to be able to do all of this hard work. But God willed, and also the people wanted us to take this hard path. And so we changed the strategy from a conventional warfare to guerrilla warfare. And to create the narrative against the Taliban, to build, because the government collapsed, to build a system, to build something, basically a semi-government to work with, anything, right? An organization. That was it. And last, to bring support and to create a situation to be able to once again gain the trust and to find support. So these were the strategies that we started after the collapse of Kabul. The narrative was created, and that was resistance. We were very successful in it. Right now, there's emirate resistance and the resistance, the emirates narrative and the resistance narrative. We created the counter narrative. And we have so far been very successful in winning the narrative war. The Taliban so far did not manage to get internal recognition. Every day that goes by, they're losing in that war. And more people are coming to our side. First. Second, since the government collapsed and we had nothing, we built an organization. And from that came into existence the NRF, National Resistance Front Organization. And third thing, it was to prove to ourselves we can do it. It was continuing this fight, guerrilla warfare. And that was one of the reasons that the military committee, the military leadership told me that we have enough resources to either operate or protect you. So you need to leave the country because we cannot exhaust our resources on protecting you, because as soon as they know you're here, they're going to all attack there and we have to exhaust all our resources in protecting you. So because of this, we encourage you to go and find the support. You be outside Afghanistan whenever necessary, and we will do the fighting inside Afghanistan. And one of the things that I have been very sort of honest about it with my people. The moment that I left my country, whenever I'm outside, whenever I've been very, very honest with my people. Because one thing is, the Taliban, they had sanctuary in Pakistan for almost 2 decades. They never came in Afghanistan.